is Raul Cruz, and I am a junior at Cathedral High School. Here at school, religion is one of the most important aspects of our lives, but nowadays, religion plays a very important role in our society. In fact, a recent poll showed that 90% of Americans say that religion is either very important or fairly important in their lives. Knowing this, it is easy to see why there are so many workplace conflicts that deal with religion. Religion discrimination. Religious discrimination can occur when you don't have the same religious or philosophical beliefs as someone else, or because you have no religious beliefs, and because that someone treats you less favorably than someone else who does share their religion or beliefs. It can also happen because of the religious or philosophical belief of someone you are associated with, or if someone thinks you have certain beliefs when you actually don't. The First Amendment gives us our freedom of speech, of assembly, and to practice our religion. Still, charges of religious discrimination in the workplace have risen 43% since 1990. This has led to a piece of pending legislation in Congress called the Workplace Religious Freedom Act, which will place an increased burden on employers to meet employee requests for religious accommodation. Many states and cities in the United States have specific policies with regard to employee discrimination because of religion. There are several actions that are considered discriminating, such as insulting a coworker's religion, not promoting an employee because of his religious beliefs, or denying them a reasonable accommodation to practice their religion. For example, not allowing them to pray during lunch and break times. Most of these policies are specified in the Equal Employment Opportunity Policy of the respective states and cities. The Civil Rights Act also requires employers to make reasonable accommodations. Of course, these accommodations should not place an undue hardship on the company for their religious practices. This would depend on the circumstances of the situation. Companies can provide a reasonable accommodation for religion. For instance, they can substitute or swap shifts for employees who request time off for religious reasons. They can provide reasonable scheduling during the day and allow flexible arrival and departure times as well as flexible work breaks. They can even allow employees to exchange meal breaks for an early departure from the office. Add a floating holiday or two that your employees can use to satisfy religious duties without disrupting schedules. Luckily, such accommodations involve minimal costs. The company does not have to provide any accommodation that causes them an undue hardship. But what are they, and when can a company say that an accommodation is causing an undue hardship? The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, a federal agency that investigates discrimination complaints based on an individual's race, color, national origin, sex, age, and religion, declare that an employer can show that a requested accommodation causes it an undue hardship if accommodating an employee's religious practices requires anything more than ordinary administrative cost, diminishes efficiency in other jobs, infringes on other employees' job rights or benefits, impairs their workplace safety, causes co-workers to carry the accommodated employee's share of potentially hazardous or burdensome work, or if the proposed accommodation conflicts with another law or regulation. In fiscal year 2008, the EEOC received 3,273 charges of religious discrimination. They resolved 2,727 religious discrimination charges and recovered $7.5 million in monetary benefits for charging parties and other aggrieved individuals, not including monetary benefits obtained through litigation. The number of EEOC lawsuits claiming workplace religious discriminations have soared by nearly 50% in recent years, illustrating that employers may not be adequately prepared to deal with the law regarding religion in the workplace. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission received 2,541 charges of religious discrimination in 2006. 2,387 religious discrimination charges were resolved, and the EEOC recovered $5.7 million in monetary benefits for charging parties and other aggrieved individuals, not including monetary benefits obtained through litigation. All of this could have been avoided if the businesses would have come to an agreement with their employees. Now, how and when can an employee request an accommodation regarding their religious beliefs? Employees seeking to practice their religious beliefs need to understand that they have a responsibility to do their part to help resolve conflicts between job duties and religious needs. An employee must tell his or her employer about their religious commitment at the time the job is accepted or as soon as they are aware of the need for an accommodation. Employees must also be clear when explaining why they need an accommodation. For instance, any objections such as saying that he or she cannot work on a particular day because of cultural tradition is not enough. To be sufficient, the employee must clearly state that he or she is required not to work because of religious beliefs. But is it really that bad for an employer to allow his workers to practice their religion? If anything, doing this can benefit their businesses. Employers should allow their workers to practice their religion not just because of the legislation or the legal implications, but because it will make your workplace more productive. Most importantly, religion may be the most important element in your employer's personal lives, and it needs to be respected as such. Thank you for watching. This has been Raul Cruz.